On this week's episode of Nikon's Birding Adventures TV, we're in Lake County, Florida. And right behind me here is a beautiful pair of burrowing owls in Claremont, Lake County. On this week's show, we're going to take you to some of the very best birding locations in the county. Let's go birding. This week we're in Lake County, Florida. Lake County is steeped in history. The downtown areas of Mount Dora and Eustis have these historical buildings, and the streets are lined with art and antique shops. You know, Lake County doesn't boast the largest post box in the world, or the hugest shopping mall, or the longest roller coaster ride. The attributes of Lake County are really due to Mother Nature itself. These are the very accommodating burrowing owls of Claremont, Lake County. These diminutive, small little owls are widespread throughout South America, Central America, and North America. And there are more than a dozen different subspecies of burrowing owls. The Florida subspecies of burrowing owl is one of the most threatened. And Claremont, Lake County, has a healthy population of these great little owls. And it's not hard to see why. Historically, Florida burrowing owls occupied the prairies of central Florida, just like this prairie close to Claremont. Recently, these populations have decreased because of housing developments and the modification of prairies for agricultural crops. This is exactly how Florida burrowing owls would have been seen prior to the massive wave of human settlement that Florida has experienced. Florida burrowing owls feed mainly on insects and are hugely beneficial to farmers as a result. Just like another upcoming star in this episode, they are nature's effective natural pest control. One of the best forms of rodent control is not to use chemical baits that you can lay out which will cause terrible damage to whatever eats it, including the rats or the rodents, but rather to let nature take its course. And here we've got a barn, and what lives in barns is a great asset to the farmers of this area, barn owls, and they should be encouraged because they will keep rodent populations down. So this over here is perfect habitat for a barn owl. Obviously they're called barn owls because they live in barns, just like this, disused buildings. And up here, we've got a whole family of 3 baby, in fact there's 4 baby barn owls right here. They're quite used to people. They're still hissing at me, telling me, get away.
So these are the babies over here. We're going to be quick so that we don't disturb them too much. But look at their heart-shaped faces. These birds and this family here, including their adults, can go through over 1,000 rodents a year. So very, very effective predators of rodents. One of their biggest threats is when people lay out rodenticides, which are obviously traps and laced meat and stuff like that, laced food that rodents will then eat. They'll get poisoned, and what will happen is those rodents don't die immediately. They spend some time walking about, and they're very vulnerable to attacks from barn owls. And the parents will then catch those weakened rodents, bring them back, feed them to the babies, and obviously everybody will die. And that's a big, big problem with barn owls. Why are we using rodenticides in the countryside? I have no idea, because these are the most effective form of rodent control out there. We're going to leave these guys in peace now, head back out. But aren't these beautiful, 4 little baby fluffy barn owls?
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, your world leader in optics since 1917, and by Lake County, Florida. Lakes, hills, horizons, where the best comes into view. Lake Apopka Restoration Area is situated just northwest of Orlando, at the headwaters of the Ocklawaha River. And what this area is restored agricultural land to basically pristine wetlands. And this attracts a huge variety of birds, so much so that in 1998, 174 different species of birds were recorded at the annual Christmas bird count. And that shattered the inland record of the 100-year Christmas bird count. So a fantastic variety of birds. And in fact, today, nearly 300 species have been recorded here at the Lake Apopka Restoration Area. Behind me here is a fantastic group of fulvous whistling ducks. These birds are generally very, very tough to see. They're very shy, they're wary, and they're not common at all anywhere in the United States of America. So this place is one of the very, very best locations in North America to see fulvous whistling ducks. They are found in other parts of the world. They're found in Africa, they're found in India, they're found in Central America and South America. So it's a very widespread bird, but they are very, very shy. And it's good to see good numbers of them right here at the Lake Apopka Restoration Area. Fulvous whistling ducks get their name from the word fulvous, which means reddish yellow. And what's interesting about these birds is that they actually forage at night. So during the day they'll generally rest up, they'll sit in the water, or they might find a nice stick or a nice tree to roost in, and then at night they'll come into these big wetlands and they'll feed on the seeds and on various plants at night. It's a nocturnal duck, which is very, very unusual. And they're called whistling ducks because of this almost like nasal whistle that they make. You can hear them calling behind me here. Every so often, the strangest things happen in nature, and I'm looking at a true freak of nature right now here at Emeralda Marsh Conservation Area, because there's a very strange heron here. It's the weirdest heron. It's got this white stripe of a tricolored heron, and then I looked at it more closely and it looked really washed out. It's got this kind of whitish coloration, and then I saw the key. When it lifted its feet, it had yellow feet, which suggests a snowy egret. So what this bird most likely is a hybrid between a tricolored heron and a snowy egret. Well, something tells me that somebody had some fun on a Friday night at the rookery, and that's the result. So this is the rookery at Emeralda Marsh Conservation Area, and you can come here at this time of the year around March, April, May through to June, and there are just hordes and hordes of birds nesting in these willow trees over here. We have glossy ibis here, you've got tricolored herons, you've got cattle egrets, you've got great blue herons. You've just got birds by the hundreds nesting here and rearing their young. There's also anhinga here, cormorants, all nesting here, and it's fantastic to watch from the embankment here at Emeralda Marsh Conservation Area. Oh, we've got a whole group of baby anhingas here. Look at them as the parent bird flies in. They're gulping down those fish, whatever that parent bird has brought to the nest. Mainly it'll be a mixture of fish that it's caught swimming in the waters here, and it regurgitates that, and you can see how aggressively those babies stick their whole heads and everything straight down the throat of the parent birds. Really, it almost looks as though they're throwing their whole bodies down the throat of the parent. And here now I'm filming a great blue heron. It's got some fairly young chicks in the nest here. And right now all I can see is just looking through my viewfinder here, just the feet of the parent bird. You can see the little baby. Every now and again you'll see the bill come down and it'll feed the little youngsters at the bottom of the nest there. This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, your world leader in optics since 1917, and by Lake County, Florida. Lakes, hills, horizons, where the best comes into view. So here we are this morning in Seminole State Forest with biologist Ralph Risch from the Forest Service, and we're trapping or trying to trap Florida scrubjays. We've got the trap set out this morning. One's coming straight up to the cage here. We've got a GoPro camera inside, and we're hoping to catch one of these birds this morning and band it with Ralph. Get some really important information that'll help towards the conservation of this bird here in Seminole State Forest. That was so close. I had this unbanded bird which Ralph really wants to band, and she went in, hit the trap with her feet, kind of fell almost on her back, but she scooted out. Drat!
Hey James, get these birds in. We're going to have to relax. That means resorting to Zen. Can you hum with me?
Is this really going to work? Everything else has failed, so let's try a bit of Zen. Finally!
Here. One thing you've got to be cautious of if you're banding scrubjays, if you're a bander, is not to spook the juveniles from going into the trap. The problem is that when you have juvenile jays that are between in their first half of their first year, from spring when they're hatched until autumn when they start moving about on their own after they've had their first molting, is they're in a learning phase from their parents. And it's a physiological thing. Their brains are physiologically structured to learn from their parents, both the smart things their parents do and the dumb things their parents do. So if you catch the adult bird while their kids are watching, the chances of getting those kids to go in the trap in the future is slim to none.
Ralph carefully weighs, bands, measures, and checks the fat content on each bird to assess its health, and then it's time to set them free again. Well, finally, after all day looking for these birds and trying to trap them, and we had so many close shaves, but finally we've got a bird here. We're going to let this guy go. There you go. Awesome.
Yes, excellent.
Now let's go finally and find some scrubjay nests here, Seminole State Forest, and see how these birds are doing from a breeding point of view. So what we're doing now is we're heading in to go and check some Florida scrubjay nests, and these birds know exactly what we're up to.
I have to check the nests every 3 to 4 days once they have eggs in them to see if they've hatched or not, or if they've been depredated, to see the stage of development, to see if they've lost eggs or lost young, and to find out what date they lay their eggs on and when the eggs hatch.
Our carefully placed cameras reveal previously hidden secrets of Florida scrubjays. Food is transferred from the helper bird to the sitting bird, who then in turn feeds the babies. This parent repeatedly retrieves large food items from the baby's crop and mashes them up before returning the food to the hungry young. She then taps their backs to induce defecation and promptly eats the fecal sac to keep the nest free from parasites and clean so as not to attract predators. With dedicated parents like these, let's hope that this bodes well for the survival of Florida's only endemic bird.
This Birding from the Edge segment is brought to you by Nikon, manufacturers of the Edge line of optics.
Ooh, yellow rat snake in the road here.
Let's try to get this guy.
Awesome. Look at this. Ralph, tell us about the snake quickly.
This is a yellow rat snake, Laphagutata. It's one of the most common snakes in the Florida scrub. There's also other snakes out here, like the yellow rat snake, for example. There's the black racer and the corn snake or yellow or red rat snake. These are all predators on baby scrubjays in the nest and scrubjay eggs, so they will depredate any scrubjay nest they come upon. Now, there's not a lot we can do about that. In some years they'll depredate almost every nest, and other years they won't depredate very many. Depends on their density. The only thing we can do is make sure the scrub is in good condition. It's less than 2 meters tall, that's about a little over 2 yards tall, and that there's plenty of breaks within a 100-meter or 100-yard distance of about 25 transitions between the oaky scrub and the bare sand and low scrub. That makes the scrub complex enough that it's hard for the snakes to zero in on the nests.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's let this baby go.
Off he goes. Point him away from the scrubjay nest. Point him that way. Yeah.
There you go.
Good deal.
All right, pretty snake. Let's go find some more scrubjay nests.
All right.
This is Birding from the Edge.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, the world leader in optics since 1917, and by Hobie Mirage Drive Kayaks. Enjoy nature effortlessly. Ah, look who's here. Bruce and Kathy.
Well, hello.
Hello,
How
the
are
Browns.
you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's
See you
been a
again.
while.
It's been
Right.
like 5 years or so.
5 years, can you believe it?
It's hard to believe. My gosh, it's hard to believe.
Great, well, place looks the same. I guess you've had some of your growth, some of your scrubs grown up a bit.
It's been growing, that's for sure. Everything's been growing out there. It's looking very good. We're real excited about it.
Great.
Anxious to show you.
And the jays are still here?
Jays are still here. Still
All right.
here, waiting for you.
Let's go try find those guys.
All right, let's go.
Great. So wow, so that's the scrub area that we were at.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now, how
When you
does
were
that look
first
compared to you?
planting
Yeah.
the scrub,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
And look how much it's grown. That, I
Yeah.
mean, that's very slow growing, right?
It's very, very,
Very,
slow
yeah.
growing.
This is pretty amazing because we were here just over 5 years ago with Bruce and Kathy Brown, and it's amazing. This stuff here, they just started planting pretty much 5 years ago, and the scrub has really sort of come up nicely now, and this is the perfect habitat obviously for Florida scrubjays. So wow, it's great progress. That's nice. And now you've got other areas that you're also rehabilitating and
Correct.
trying
We're
to
also,
get more scrub back.
Doing a lot more even in here. We've planted about another 300 trees recently.
I remember the last time we were here, I remember we looked for the birds for like 2 hours, I think. We couldn't find them anywhere, right? And then suddenly they showed up. So what's amazing is that it's actually the same two birds that we saw 5 years ago when that one bird sat on my shoulder. You've still got that bird here. So I'm going to go meet some old friends right now.
What's exciting for us with this restoration is not only to see the scrub oaks growing up in the other ground covers, but to see the open sandiness coming back again. When we first took out the citrus groves, it was very thick with a lot of the compost and fertilizers and such that had been here from the previous farmers, and to be able to have the winds come and erode away a little bit of that and get back to the whiter sands and the open areas for the jays to cache is extremely important with the restoration and with the survival of the habitat for the jays. So we're very excited about that.
All right, let's see, where are these guys? So here's our little friend again. There he goes, right up onto the telephone wires. Big chunky Florida scrub jay. This is probably the male, and this is the same bird that we had 5 years ago. Wow, you look 5 years younger. Kathy, Bruce, thanks again. It's so good to see you guys again.
Excellent to see you again.
It's wonderful to see how the oak has grown up. I mean, look at this oak. When we were here 5 years ago, I guess it was just planted. So it's amazing to see how you guys have done so well with the restoration of the habitat here, and to see the same scrub jays that we saw 5 years ago is fantastic.
Thank you so much, James. We really appreciate you coming out and sharing this with everybody, and we are so delighted. We've got a wonderful festival coming up October 4th through 6th, the Wings and Wildflower Festival. We would love to have people come and join in the tours that we have here and see what's going on with the restoration and become involved and active.
The annual Wings and Wildflower Festival offers the opportunity to attend excellent presentations from well-renowned birders and conservationists at beautiful sites like Hickory Point, Marina del Rey, and the Mission Inn Resort and Club. Daily field trips will be on offer to superb locations like Lake Apopka, Emeralda Marsh, Green Swamp, the Scrubjay Trail, the picturesque Dora Canal, and Seminole State Forest.